Welcome back. I have no idea what happened. I just lost everything. So anyways, lap 10 is going to have to carry on. Brett still actually Brett's overtaken Venom in this last lap or two, and now effective race lead. As you can see further down the field, there's the situation with stops. Combi 7 seconds ahead of Bert. So the field has spread quite a bit now in this second phase of the race, needs to begin here. As Venom continues to hunt down Brett then. These two obviously yet to make a stop on their mediums. But Colours not too far behind us actually, so Colours now he's in clear air, he's showing some really good pace. And getting closer to the pit window of these medium runners, not too far away. Oh, big wiggle there for Brett. Is that going to allow Venom a chance then at an overtake around the outside into turn 14? Not the easiest place to make an overtake. He's going to have to try and bide his time. Maybe coming out of this last turn, not too aggressive. So Venom could have gone for something there if he wanted to, but didn't in the end. He's got DRS, something his rival does not have. But can't make an overtake into turn 1. A couple of the guys have yet to pit, you can see there. On the hards or the mediums. Their time is yet to come. As there are a few battles further down the field with Adam on the back of Yaram, Jono right there, as well as Tom Pritchie, who's just pitted from his softs onto hards. But the show goes on at the front. And again, is Brett just a little bit too far away from Venom this time with DRS? Where will they pop out? Let's just see where they do emerge when they make their stops. They will have hard compound tyres to go to the end of the race. You see most people, with the exception of Focky, Merck and Mark Demand in that kind of group before the stops, choosing to go for the hards. Everyone else, Bert, Wesker, Synchronizer, Combi, they've all gone mediums. Again, technically they could take them to the end of the race, but it's painful. They'll be severely disadvantaged come the end of the race. And speaking of Merck and Synchronizer, Merck slips ahead and takes P11 off of Synchronizer. That could be a big move as well, as Yaram takes Adam as well, and that's for P14. So a couple of battles going on, but the midfield is generally spread out. As on for another lap, Brett and Venom go. Better run this time, was it, for Venom? Still going to be behind, but still going to be in DRS. As Team D Zlatan takes that place back from Yaram. No such luck for Venom taking his place back from Brett. At least for the time being. A much better run out of turn 2 though. Dan the Renault. See if anything is doing heading into turn 3 and 4. If he keeps close enough at this range, he might have a very good chance heading up the hill. Or rather down the straight up the hill. This track doesn't have a ton of elevation to it. A lot of ERS as well on that Red Bull compared to that Renault, and not as much then for Brett. But again, Venom decided not to really do too much about it. He's in a low deployment mode for his ERS, suggesting that maybe he's just biding his time in this one, that he's got this race a bit more in his pocket, maybe he just wants to be pulled along for the time being. But they are losing time to Colours behind, 2.6 seconds back. Similar strategy, the same strategy for that matter, and SH isn't too far back from that either, so it is quite open this race. But I think it is fair to say that Venom is storing a little bit in reserve here, whereas the others maybe not as much, at least for now anyways. As Wesker on the back of Focky. This is for P9. This is very important though. It's important for Wesker to get this move done soon, given the difference of tyre, and he has a better run heading towards turn 11. And he goes down the inside and he makes that move on the Haas. As on the back again, as Kieran Trapp goes into the pits then, lap 12. He's taken those mediums. So how much longer before we see the rest of the medium runners then into the pits? Again, if you're Colours or SH, maybe not so SH, but Colours maybe, there's an undercut to be had here at these two fighting at the front. And we'll see what the story is. I thought we would have seen a fewer people do the one stop than we are at the moment, but I mean, I don't think it's going to be raining anytime soon on those mediums, so Hard to say as closer and closer Venom gets. But again, choosing not to go up into overtake. And again, elects to just keep things at a distance for now. But has the potential, of course, to pounce at any moment. As things are getting a little bit closer, just between guys pitting, between guys catching other guys who are on harder compound tyres. This race is quite open and still 18 runners as Synchronizer trying to hold off Merck and gets back that position on Merck. And that's for P10. Just checking the front, make sure nothing's going on up here before we go back to Merck and Sync, as Merck has got a good chance to try and get back, and leaders staying out for another lap. Anyways, as Synchronizer trying to hold her down the inside against Merck, who's got to go around the outside this time. Makes a bit of contact and has to file in behind the Haas for the time being. Meanwhile, another Haas and Williams battle. Wesker trying to go around the outside of turn 12. And that's a nice little move on Focky. Can Focky hang down the inside? No, Wesker covers it off. As Brett gets a penalty then, and that could be a big one come the end of this race, because it's so tight up there. See if Focky can try and get anything back on Wesker, who's not got DRS. A little bit of lag there. And to be fair, Focky would do well just to keep within DRS of Wesker if he can, and just allow that Williams to pull him along, and that way, even with DRS, you know, even though he's on the harder tyres, he can just be pulled along, and then even a nice little position going forward. And no such luck for Venom still, but again, he's got full ERS to play with, should he so desire. Still ahead for the time being at 14. It's a time to pit yet, as Focky is reeling in that Williams, even with zero deployment on his ERS. Shows you the straight line speed and how broken DRS is around here. And he lets Wesker stay with it. Synchronizer still holds on to P10. Focky would have just lost a little bit more ground he would have wanted to there. See if he can reel back in some of that time for the next DRS zone. If he drops out of DRS here, it could be problematic for him. If he's able to hang on, be quite beneficial for his race. Still no sign of any movement at the front for the leaders as they head on to lap 15 and cover 14 laps then on these mediums, as Combi's getting closer now to this battle as well. Only what is effectively just less than 10 seconds off of the lead, having made his stop, as Colours gets a penalty then as well. So I think we're beginning to see some of this. If we just take a look at the I won't take a little lap times, but I know there's going to be an overtake here in a sec. Lap time, say, between Brett to 35.5 that last lap, and you have Combi 34.4, so consistent 34s then for Combi. A little bit higher on the deployment was Venom briefly before knocking it back down into low, as Merck then gets by Synchronizer. A little bit of contact from front to rear, as Kieran Trapp looking at this little battle, as well as Venom himself gets a penalty now. So top 3 and even 4 for that matter, I think, all have penalties. As Focky has managed to keep within DRS though. It's a nice little win for Focky to stick with it, despite Wesker having the softer compound tyres through the twisting and turning sector 3. Synchronizer get back. Merck without DRS is the problem. It's a constant toing in front, but very little ERS. Has Synchronizer almost made contact, and Kieran Trapp right there as well. Should anything kick off, gets a very decent run compared to Synchronizer, who has to account for the car in front of him as well, and goes defensive against the McLaren. He's going to try to go around the outside of turn 10. Can he hold his Synchronizer at the inside, but doesn't have the tyres, as SH comes into the pits then. So on the hards, SH the first to blink here, and that's definitely, it's got to be strategic for sure. As again, close to turn 1, the top 3 carry on their mediums, but SH does pull into the pits. Be interested to see where he emerges. He'll be behind some hard runners for sure, but how much will his traffic be? He'll be ahead of, well, get ahead of Wesker. If you can get ahead of this little train here, Merck could be extremely handy, and he will indeed get in front of that train. So that's a good job for SH then. Crucial for his race not to deal with 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in terms of traffic. That's the difference of basically 3-4 seconds is the equivalent of that little gaggle of cars right there. So see if Kieran Trapp can make a little run at Merck. This is for P10 then, with of course people yet to make stops, but of course the top 3 should be safe. As no DRS for Merck, he has not got a lot of defence for this. Although I don't see the rear wing be activated on that McLaren, possibly a DRS fault then. But he goes down the inside, does the McLaren on the Williams, makes that move then, and Merck has to be careful not to lose too much more positions. As they head down towards turn 10, he's in decent enough range where he won't be vulnerable to Synchronizer heading down towards turn 11, but can Merck take that place back from Kieran Chapman? Goes a little bit wide, and Merck follows him and carries on at the front. Speaking of carrying on, top 3 still soldiering on, and Combi just sets the fastest lap of the race. This is really interesting now because Combi's coming into the pits again. You know, if they all have to pit again, this is where they are. They're right there. As Synchronize pick up a 3-second penalty, but the difference being, I think Combi could just bolt on another set of mediums, because he of course did start on the soft compound tire, so he's fulfilled both. He's fulfilled the tire criteria. You just put on a set of mediums, whereas these guys had to put on either softs or hards. And the more I think about it, the more I'm guessing they're going to try and hang out for softs, but that's a tough one because the softs aren't a great tyre, and we saw the dangers of them as they get old through this corner as Weiberg lost it. So it is a dangerous corner with worn tyres. So this is a very critical part of the race for Combi to try and get ahead, or try and at least close up as best as he can. Around nearly 5 seconds between himself and his teammate in first. Still no sign of the top 3 making a stop as they carry on to lap 18 then. As Mark Demand on Synchronizer. Mark Demand, oh, there's contact, and Mark Demand goes round. And through will go Adam and Jono. And that's a tough one for Mark Demand. I think it's hard to get a proper judgment on that incident, but definitely the last thing Mark Demand would have needed, and I think he can probably say goodbye to any points scoring position today for the Alfa Romeo. Speaking of, SHN sets his fast lap of the race as he overtakes the Williams of Wesker, and that's for P7 and Focky right there as well. And you have to say the advantage will obviously be in Focky's favour. He's still within that DRS range of Wesker, and of course is on the harder compound tyre, can go to the end of the race as Brett has to go defensive again on Venom, who again chooses not to overtake, and now Colours is into the mix here as well. I'm just a little bit, it's a little strange one from Venom, because I think if he could have gone by now if he wanted to, but he's obviously choosing to stick behind as Colours and Combi are catching as Yaram then retires from the race. Seems to be fairly far back. Anyway, Synchronizer has made another stop though. He's onto the mediums then. Another set of mediums to the end of this race, and he's in 17th place. Again, tough points might be a tough ask today. His teammate in a lot better of a position. And again, top 3 still soldier on, as they have done for the majority of this second stint. Again, we saw Kieran Chap pit lap 12 or so on his mediums, as finally going for the move is Venom on Brett. They had to get right out the way there because the Ferrari of Yaram, you see the retired Ferrari Yaram, is still on the track, and I'm sure it would have made contact as Bert then comes into the pits then. So Bert on 10 lap old mediums is making a pit stop. Is he changing a front wing? I'll have to just have a quick check. So Venom has finally made the move then. See if he can pull away. He's got the ERS to do it. I want to check Bert. Does have a front wing change? There is a front wing change. He actually lost it. So he's got no front wing then. So that's a disappointing one for Bert. He was looking for a good points position, and it's gone down the drain. He's got to come on pit for a new front wing. He's put on the soft compound tyres. As Brett hounds in the back of that Red Bull. Of course, more ERS in the tank for that Honda powered Red Bull, and he can begin to pull away somewhat. And now if anything, he's going to be under a bit more pressure is Brett from Colours, and now Combi is just outside of DRS, as very, very wide is Brett, and oh, it's big contact between Colours and Brett, and into the barrier. He can just about save it, but that was the danger. Any side contact is going to be dangerous, and Colours then all of a sudden is out of contention here at the top end. So a mistake from Brett then opened the door, but it closed on Colours. See if the tyres are okay. He's going to come into the pits then. He does get himself slowed down in time. So he's going to come in then. Sway into the pits as well then from 5th. A long stint on these mediums. I imagine there's going to be soft compound tyres going onto that car. Yes, on the Mercedes certainly. He pops out just in front of the racing point. And soft tyres, I'm assuming then for Sway as well. On they go. So this is the chosen strategy then for these guys on the mediums. See how it works out come the end of this race. And surely this lap is the lap you're going to see these guys pitting, and also the lap you're going to see Combi overtake his teammate. Is this for a legitimate position? Because I do believe there's going to be a pit stop left for each of them, possibly. As Combi then easily takes the position, much more ERS than his teammate. And with DRS he makes the move, and he's also just right behind Venom then as well. But just a bit too far back on this occasion, heading towards Scene Corner. How are the tyres for Venom at this part of the race? They're not looking particularly great, as Colours gets by Kieran Trapp. That's for P7. So off the lead then. 26 seconds is Colours off the lead. He's lost about, what, 4 or 5 seconds in that incident with Brett. So let's see at the front then. No, sorry, into the pits then. Both of them into the pits. Oh, Combi coming in hot. So all three of them into the pits, and that's a disaster decision from Brett, who's going to be stacked behind his teammate. I can't help but wonder if maybe Combi could have gone to the end. Now, these guys have taken their tyres 20 laps. You know, he is starting from softs, as they all seem to be they're all suspended there for a sec. But Brett's going to lose a lot of time here, as who's actually in front here. So SH is going to inherit the lead then on 5 lap old mediums. And Wesker coming through as well as Focky, and there's Combi then ahead of Colours. And then Venom got held in the pits big time there. You can see the difference between himself and Combi then. He was just ahead, as Kieran Trapp then overtaken by Venom. Probably not a lot Kieran Trapp would do in this situation, given that he's on the hard compound tyres. So he's lost about 3 seconds or so as Venom in that pit stop, as Combi then just out tractions Focky. It's going to be a really interesting end to this race. Going to be a lot of position changes. There is Brett on the back of TMC's Zlatan, and Sway right there as well. He's got a much better run than both of them combined. And we just boxed in. There's contact dying to happen here. Is a 3 wide heading down towards turn 8. Sway on the outside. Oh, contact between himself and Brett, and Sway's going to get through, as Wesker then is overtaken by Combi then as well. And now Combi can set off after the race win against SH. Sway on the inside, down the inside on Brett, and he gets that move done for P9. But can he hold it? He's had a very good stint as Sway on that opening stint, and some really good points up here up for grabs. Possibly looking at his best result of the season if he can continue his progress. At the moment he's got 9 points, and his best finish came at Monaco with 8th place, as well as coming with the same result coming at Azerbaijan, as well as Focky on the back of Wesker. And Focky, I'd imagine, will have better tyres in this phase of the race, as Brett moves ahead of Sway once again. Then with a wobble on the exit, another wobble out of turn 2, and Sway in a better position here, you have to say. If you can get a good run out of turn 7, you'll be in a great position to overtake with DRS. And speaking of, Colours then continuing his march through the field. He's got DRS on Focky, who also has DRS, and that's saving him somewhat. Can it save him from potential overtake this time around? Wesker getting closer as well, and that's not enough this time around for Colours, even with the super soft tyre compared to Focky's hard. But here's where the advantage comes home better traction out of turn 9. Sway didn't get a chance to get that position back, as Colours still stuck behind that. Haas is going to try and dispatch him as quickly as he can, and should be able to surely through this section. He'll have the better traction, better grip, better tyres, assuming he can just avoid contact round the outside of turn 12, and he should have that move done, and that is Colours then into P4. As the gap at the front is coming down significantly, I'm expecting to see a fastest lap of the race from Combi here. Oh, not quite. 3.5 seconds his gap is to SH, as Colours then under pressure from Wesker. So Wesker holding on to a podium, but you get the feeling that it's not going to last for long, and much better run out of turn 2, and he should get this move done down towards turn 3, and that is Colours then into a podium spot on his debut, if he can hold it. As Venom goes for the dive on Focky, contact between the two, has to be so careful, showing a little bit of impatience, whereas if he just waited he could easily get the move done heading down towards this DRS straight, as Colours gets a 3-second penalty, so penalty is really going to play a key factor in this race, you would imagine. As open the DRS on Merck, who's got DRS on Kieran Trapp. Brett, even with DRS, struggled to overtake heading down towards turn 8 and 9, but just gets a much better run obviously on traction, given that Merck is on 15 lap old hards. But has he got enough ERS? Not really, not a ton to play with heading down towards turn 10, but in sector 3 should have the advantage. Swing back to him. We go down the inside into turn 11, thought about it, but could just slip up the inside then, and immediately onto the heels of Kieran Trapp for P7, he's held that position for a couple of times as Kieran Trapp in P7, and he's going to lose it once again when Brett gets by, as Venom gets by Wesker, and that is for P4. And now Venom can try and set up after Colours, but he's got a second or so to make up on the Mercedes with similar lap old tyres. So 2.3 then the seconds separating SH from Combi. As we begin to wind down, another penalty then for Brettster, so they are playing a factor here, and you could easily see someone like Sway, who's only got one I believe, could play a factor big time in the outcome of this race. There is the gaps there, 16 seconds separating the top 10. At least for the time being, and already all over the back of him is Venom. I didn't think he'd catch 1.1 odd seconds this quickly, but there he goes, ahead of Colours and into third place. He caught him so quickly. Must have been a mistake or something from Colours. I have to look at the sector times. Wesker on the back, trying to defend from Focky then for P6. I'll just check that very quickly. Venom 28.4, Colours 29.4, so he lost a second, so he definitely made a mistake somewhere. I could just put 2 and 2 together that he lost a second pretty much through the first sector, like, you know, but I want to check anyways just in case. But yeah, he must have made a mistake coming out of maybe turn 5, maybe lost the back end, as 1.5 seconds then separating Combi from SH, who's got the fastest lap at the moment. It does belong to Colours, so at the moment he's going to be getting that extra point, and not anymore, as Venom then takes that away for the time being, as he's got 6 seconds to try and make up on Combi. Lost a lot in the pits and trying to make up some positions, so it's probably not going to happen. As this race-long battle, it seems like, between Focky and Wesker is continuing. Focky's finally got the run down towards turn 3. He goes down the inside, and now can he pull enough of a margin out of these two corners to get ahead enough so that Wesker, even with DRS, can be held at bay? I suspect not, but we'll see. As he opens the DRS now, and Focky immediately diving to the left hand side. The only bit of consolation for Focky is that Wesker's tyres are going to be absolutely brutal come the end of this race, the end game as we are in now, and he's managed to keep ahead of Wesker heading down towards turn 9, turn 8 and 9 rather I should say. Wesker can't quite get back. Sway trying to get his teammate now as well, Wesker's teammate, Now be for P9. As Focky then still ahead for the time being of Wesker as Sway dips into the back of that Williams, and the gap at the front is just a second now. Is there anything SH can do about this impending danger? As Tom Pritchard, who's had probably the quietest race of everyone, I probably have to say, overtakes in a little battle with Timo for P14. You see the run that Sway could have had, but had to back out of it as to avoid hitting into the back of Merck. And at the front, and here we go. It is less than a second between SH and Combi. You have to say penalties probably will play the biggest factor here today. I'm going to leave it as a surprise for the end of this race. And he's going to have DRS, but he's not going to be close enough on this occasion to make a move, as meanwhile now Focky, the tyre advantage finally has come to his side, as he is pretty much, I wouldn't say he's dropped Wesker, but he's definitely out of range, and now Wesker looking to be under pressure from Brett. This is for P6 now. Sway on the back of Merck as well, who's not got DRS this time, and he's going to lose this position. His teammate looks like he's going to lose a position as well very, very soon. Same with SH possibly, as well as surely now he'll close right up to the back of that Ferrari through this Sector 3. With the better tyres, he just has one more lap to try and survive. Runs a bit wide. Brett's still on the back of Wesker. Sway is ahead of Merck now. He's got that move done. And Brett down the inside against Wesker. Oh, it's contact made, and Brett goes round. And they should allow the rest to get through. Kieran Trapp is through. Sway should be able to get through as well as Merck. So Brett's race really has kind of gone away here in his final third of the race, as we do begin the final lap of the race. Oh, contact between SH and Combi, and that's going to allow Venom, is it? They're both round. Where is Venom? As he steams through turn 1, they're both just ahead. So contact on the last lap has brought Venom into the fold. Colours right there as well. And now, what drama do we have left on this last lap? So Combi is ahead, but rather controversially. And now SH, can he hold on? It's going to be tough, as the rest of the grid has kind of now spread out now, as the people who have mean to get the overtakes done on softs have kind of got that done, as SH is being reeled in with DRS from Venom. Say break. Oh, almost made contact again. Poor SH would have felt like an absolute battering ram. He'd been hit by Venom there. But we'll see how this unfolds. Dramatic ending to this French Grand Prix. But just ahead of all of them is Combi for the time being. Has he got wing damage, I wonder? Doesn't look like it somehow after all that. As it looks like, oh, there's a little three-way action here. Bert, Timo and Tom Pritchard, but we'll have to leave that. To stick at the front, I have no idea how this is going to end. It'll be a mystery to us all. But Combi on the track, at least. Oh, there's TMC return. It's been, apart from that last lap, been a good drive. And look, he's pulling over. Fair play to him. SH going to come across the line. Is it enough for the win? Yes, it is. So SH wins ahead of Combi in second. Fair play to Combi, pulling over at the end there. Venom finishes third in the end. Focky then finishes fourth. Great job from him. Kieran Trapp comes across the line, finishes sixth. Colours his penalties, really cost him in the end, as Wesker picks up 7th place. 8th place belongs to Sway. Merck in 9th, and after everything, TMC's Latan is going to finish 10th ahead of Mark Demand in 11th. Jono in 12th. Bert is going to come across the line to finish in 13th place ahead of Tom Pritchard in 15th. After penalties were applied, Timo jumped him. And then Synchronizer is going to round out the finishing order here at France. His worst performance in terms of, or sorry, his worst finish of the season rather, that he's taken the checkered flag. That's a shame for him. His teammates done very well, to be fair. But again, a tough one for Synchronizer. But SH then did manage to, well, he was holding on very late on, and fair play to Combi. It almost cost him though, because I wonder what the penalty situation was, because even though Combi pulled over and let him by, if penalties had been more of a factor, that could have easily just, you know, he still could have lost the race. So I'm sure there might be some inquisition afterwards, but the championship leader extends his lead at the top. with the full complement of 25 points. He finishes ahead of Combi in second. No penalties actually for SH and Combi. Venom had a penalty in the end. A great job from Focky to finish fourth. Kieran Trapp from 15th to 5th. Great job from him. Colours then drove well enough on his debut. The pace was there, but the penalties were also there. Wesker finishing in 7th, ahead of Sway in 8th. Merck 9th. Team Zlatan got himself a point in the end after a lap early incident. Mark Demand 11th, Jono 12th, 13th for Bert, 14th for Timo, Tom Purdy 15th, Synchronized at 16th. We lost Brett at the end, Yaram and Weiberg. If you're talking driver of the day though, it's going to have to be SH from 12th position to be right in contention to win that race at the end, and obviously at the end taking the top step on the podium. That's going to do it for round number 8 of TMC Division 2. Next up is Division 3 on Friday, same time, 8 PM. Hope to see you then. Until next time.